Life, liberty, and the pursuit of good feeds. Let's get the spray paint out. Ladies and gentlemen, internet, my name is Peridiam, and let's get iconic. In truth, this video is less about a Mount Rushmore and more about the most iconic players in Big Brother history. But to keep it short and sweet, I'm narrowing the number down to just 4, and then carving their faces into the side of my house. Or spray painting their faces onto the kitchen walls of the Big Brother house. But I want to be inspired and get a little creative, so I'm going to be retrofitting who I believe are the top 4 most iconic Big Brother players and loosely relating them to the same reasons why we have a certain 4 presidents on a mountainside. Essentially, I am looking for the players who represent the birth, the growth, the development, and the preservation of the show. Let's get started with the first icon. If you had to pick one person who you think best represents the birth of Big Brother as we have come to know it over the past 2 decades, who would it be? To me, the most obvious and most iconic is the half man, half machine. It's Dr. Will Kirby from Big Brother 2 and Big Brother 7 All-Stars.
I tell them right to their face, I'm gonna stab you in the back, I'm gonna lie to you, that's what I've been doing, I'm gonna continue to do it. And they look me right in the face and they say, no you won't, we trust you, you're a good guy, and I burn them every time.
Can anyone take pleasure in watching groups of people get angry at each other and tear each other apart verbally, psychologically, and emotionally? I can, and I sit there and do it every day. I love it. I love to watch them pull each other apart. They're ripping at each other like carnivores. It's like a headhunter fest, and they're all trying to eat each other's brains out.
If ever a player represented the birth of this franchise, it's him. And yes, not someone from Big Brother 1, despite it happening first, mostly because BB1 is a quite different show that's almost never referenced other than to say why it's not being included in a discussion, like right now. Dr. Will arrived on Big Brother 2 way back in the year 2001 and set a precedent for how this show would proceed, particularly as a game. He quickly mastered the ability to pivot his way through the weeks, demonstrating a very apt understanding of the psychology of the game at hand and how perception can be everything. He is the forefather of this great game we know and love today, setting a standard that is almost never matched in quality, both as a game player and as a personality to watch. And rightfully so, he is the first player that I think of when it comes to icon status. Without a doubt, he is forever the puppet master of Big Brother.
Tomorrow morning, I will be initiating a voluntary fast that everyone has agreed to partake in.
I don't know what his motivation was besides seeing if he can move his little chess pieces any way he wanted to.
I can be the puppeteer and they can be the marionettes.
The second face, and arguably the second most iconic player in Big Brother, although this isn't really a ranking of the top 4, just a group of the 4, would go to a woman who I believe represents the growth of the show over the years. She's not a player who was given a spot on the All-Stars 2 kitchen wall, unfortunately, and that's because, fortunately, she's in the house itself. Just like there was always money in the banana stand, for every era of Big Brother, there was always Janelle Pierzina to go along with it. Janelle has now played this game 4 times, Big Brother 6, 7, 14, and 22. She's competed on both All-Star seasons, an all-newbie season, and a mixed returning player coaches season. She's placed 3rd twice, and I'm almost kinda shocked that Big Brother hasn't expanded the Final 2 to a Final 3 after what happened with her way back when. She's perhaps the most well-known player in Big Brother history. Her influence spans decades. She's one of the greatest comp beasts we've ever seen, setting records, one of the biggest personalities we've ever seen, also probably setting records. She's always been a fan favorite, always been a strong player, for better or worse, and is also one of my personal favorites. Big Brother has come a long way since it first began, and Janelle has too. And go figure, the first 2 faces on the tapestry were also in a sort of show fomance on one season, working in tandem. It's poetry. And no, I just have to say right now, I don't believe you need to be a winner of the show to be considered iconic or given a mural in the house. Yes, Mount Rushmore has 4 presidents, not 4 Veeps, but this is a loose inspiration. And placement isn't everything.
Janelle, let's kill them. Let's get them.
And the puppet master finally met his match.
I vote to evict you, Will.
It's official, Will.
You have been evicted from the Big Brother All-Star house.
Leaving Mike stunned.
On top of birthing and growing the game and the show, let's talk about the development, continuing to further what was established before you. The third icon on this wall is literally on the wall, and I have to say this, they got her quote wrong. Producers, what's up with that? I'm talking about Danielle Reyes from Big Brother 3 and Big Brother 7 All-Stars. A lot of All-Stars running around as of late. So, why Danielle? I've said this before, but I will say it one more time. Danielle is a brilliant player. With nary a blueprint to work off, she approached the game with one of the most understanding mindsets the show has ever seen. She hit low in the grass to start, was acutely observant, formed strong bonds with key power players, divided and conquered with secret alliances, flipped votes, and actively kept her enemies in the dark. Lied to people's faces to gain critical intel to win new allies, was patient, loving, and incredibly tactical. One of the most to this day. A true triple threat, she wasn't afraid to pull the trigger, to get her hands dirty, to share her emotions in ugly victories, or cede power and display empathy to her allies. And this was all in season 3. Never mind the fact that she came back for All-Stars. This all occurred 1 year after the game had ever been played with Big Brother 2. Yes, she didn't win, but Danielle losing changed the game forever. And to this day, her legacy remains.
We're gonna sit there and say, we played all y'all.
It was sometime week 1 for the first eviction, Danielle and I decided that we were gonna work together until the end, never, ever imagining that we could make it this far.
I was really concerned that no one came to me with an alliance. When people don't come talk to you, that means that you're part of the plan to be picked off sooner or later. And by us keeping it a secret, they never thought we were a threat.
I think it's important to hold your cards close and not let people know exactly what's going on. I believe I made it this far in the game because of an incredible trust and bond that I built with Danielle.
Jason has always been my friend from the beginning.
It's friendship and loyalty and trust. And that's what you need to make it in this game.
And so now we get to the final face on the kitchen wall. Again, quite literally. Which brings me to the notion of preservation. A player who did their best to preserve the legacy of the greats before them. Inspired by the great, true OG puppet master himself, Dr. Will, the fourth iconic player to get memorialized is, of course, it's Dan Giesling from Big Brother 10 and Big Brother 14. I mean, we saw this coming, right?
While I was trapped in solitary confinement, I came up with a master plan to try and save myself. Step 1, invite all the house guests to Dan's funeral.
In this game, you'll never earn my trust back. You know what you did. And in this game, you're dead to me.
Step 2, go talk to Frank and blow up the Quack Pack.
There's a reason why when a player is doing well, or not so well, but we want to amuse ourselves, they get referred to as a Giesling. Dan is most well known for his funeral, but the main takeaway here with this entry is how slick, cunning, adaptable, and flashy he is. Dan loves to go big, to play for the cameras, the veto roulette, the funeral, the fake veto being up to his elbows in blood, and he was greatly inspired by Dr. Will before him. He went into BB10 intending to play a similar game, and I think he succeeded. From throwing competitions to forming a secret impenetrable ride or die to basically making the most of every bit of information he gathered, you can only be certain of 3 things in this world: death, taxes, and Dan's missed.
It's like angel chorus starts in, and we just start swaying to his words, and we're like, yeah, Dan, yeah. He is dangerous. He is so dangerous.
Oh, Lord.
And those are who I believe are the 4 most iconic Big Brother players to date. Yes, there are definitely a few names that did not make the cut, such as, Derek, Vanessa, perhaps Paul, but the main reason for that, the main reason they aren't in this video is recency. Loosely inspired by Mount Rushmore, I wanted a deeper legacy to represent the pillars of this show, and quite frankly, I think these 4 players in this video are the perfect representation. So let me know what you think. Who is on your BB Mount Rushmore? Who would you spray paint onto your kitchen wall? And why is it Raven? Regardless, a huge thank you to my big patrons for supporting me. You guys know who you are. Also, so does everyone else now. Don't forget to shake that spray can on your way out. And I will see you in the next one once I literally march onto the CBS studio lot force my way inside that house and fix Danielle's quote.
I'm ready, Dan.
You ready?
Yeah.
Ready. You're 54 years old. No one in your entire life has given you a chance. It's you against the rest of the world. Those millions of people around the world say Rennie can't do it. And it's up to you. I can't do it for you. I'm too old. Okay? Sparky can't do it for you. Patrick can't even do it for you. The hairstylist from New Orleans. You can show the world right now. Now get out there and go kick their ass!
I'll just say this. 2 down, 8 more to go. 3 down, 7 more to go. 4 down, 6 to go. 5 down, 5 to go. 6 down, and 4 to go. 7 down, and 3 to go. 8 down, 2 more to go. 9 down, and 1 more to go.
I hope that everyone has underestimated my potential for just massive destruction.